Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen.
Yeah, we were forced to go to church pretty much. We grew up like that.
Since I was a kid, every time I go to attend to any certain church, that was really strict for me.
A lot of the rules that came along with church just felt like these, who do I need to be in order to be loved?
This is how you have to dress, this is how you have to behave.
I can remember running around the pews in our old Baptist church in Chicago, and my dad was leading worship and stuff like that. So it's always been a part of my life, even sometimes if it was at a distance.
When I got into high school, I didn't really feel that connection to church.
If you lived in mom's house, you went to church. The day I moved out was the last time I went.
Well, I decided to start around 12, 13 years old. I thought I was big enough to take my decision to say, this is not for me.
I knew a lot of ministers and ministries and pastors and things like that, and so you go to a church on Sunday, but you know what happened, between, Monday through Saturday. Sometimes you get a little jaded or disillusioned, by that.
I left and explored life and all that it had to offer.
How I was, I didn't feel I belonged in a church. I've pretty much done any kind of drug that you can do.
It was always like I still had this anxiety and depression inside, so the things that I turned to were alcohol and marijuana.
I was searching, really looking for something else, trying to find a meaning in something on my life which never find it.
My brother for sure was the front door for me because I had such a close relationship with him growing up.
My daughter Stormy started going to church continuously when she was probably 14.
I'm a plumber in there, and I get to the house and I start lay out the blueprints, and I start thinking there, like, what these people doing? Like, we can do miracles? Like, come on, this is stupid. There was a guy standing beside there, and I was like, oh, say, who are you? And I was like, well, I'm the owner of the house. And I was like, oh my God, like, I want that moment that floor used to open, you swallow me right in there.
And so when my brother came to me saying, like, Ash, you gotta check out this church, and like he was excited about it, I was like, okay, this is something.
Before I left that day, he come talk to me, and he get to a point to come and invite me and say, he asked me, do you want to go to church?
It took us about 3 years before we finally said, yeah, we're coming with you and get saved.
Growing up in church is just a part of your life, and it feels like it's something you didn't have a choice in. But that invite really got me serious about going because it was my choice at that point.
The more that I go to church, the more I get close to God, I realize like He always been watching over me.
I think like being in community with the church, it's really, really one of the most beautiful gifts that God has for us.
It's the only time in my life that I really believe that I have brothers and sisters and true friends. Continue to keep asking, no matter how many times they say no. Don't ever give up. I don't know where I'd be right now if Stormy had given up on me.
We are a social media church, so feel free to utilize your phones to send out messages during the live broadcast that's happening. I grew up in a neighborhood where mothers would call my friends to come for dinner. Now, we were supposed to be home, before the street lights. You got to be home before the street lights came on. But sometimes we would be caught out, playing, and we lose track of time. And all of a sudden we would hear, hey, Johnny, hey, Mary, hey, Teresa, hey, Jackie, come home. It's time for dinner. When I was growing up, my family and I would sit at the table together for dinner. Now, I know that that has changed drastically over years. Does anybody still sit around the table with the family? I know everybody is busy, people, kids, sometimes to Eddie, sometimes kids are in a different area, it has changed, but sitting at the table together was special. Even if we had a friend or a family member, stop by, it didn't matter. We would just pull up another chair and dine at the table together. You know what? Bruce and Randall, do me a favor. Bring that table up here. Bring that table up here. There was something about being at the table. Being at the table. I don't know what you had at your table, but, I know what was at Sean's table. What was at Sean's table? Chicken. Sean, our organist, loves chicken. I'll never forget, we were at something, and Sally was sharing about, how Sean loved chicken. And she said for her, I think it was for her bridal party or something like that, her friends gave her a book of 365 ways to make chicken. And we were there, and it was so funny because Sean was eating the chicken, and then what happened was a little chihuahua came across, and Sean said, "Chicken?" We were like, "No, Sean, you cannot eat people's dog." It's not chicken, it was a chihuahua. And so Sean loves chicken. Now, put a couple of those chairs. We're gonna just put this right here, another one there, and put one right here. Great, good, and let's see, and just put one right there, Bruce. That'll work. That'll work, yeah. The table. The table. Now, this is not just any table today. This is not just any table. I want you to look at this table differently this morning. I want you to imagine this table being God's table. For God's table, which is this table today, is a table for people like you and me. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me see if I can show you in a couple of ways here. Where's Monique? Come and help me out here. Come and help me out. Now, this table is sturdy. This table, I trust God, but I'm not sure if I sit on this table, if I trust this table. I trust God, though. But this table is not just any kind of table. Let me ask, when you come over here, I want you to do something for me. This table is a table for people just like us. So let me ask, has anybody here today, or maybe that's online, have you ever experienced depression? Okay, take that on the table. Let me see. Has anybody in here or online, have you ever experienced anxiety? I think we probably all experience anxiety, especially when we're on the road trying to get to someplace. I know none of you have had road rage, but I confess this morning, I repent. Okay, sometimes I'm on the road and it's not nice. It's not nice. I forget that I'm a preacher, and I'm just being honest. But, we have anxiety. We have these things that come upon. Has anybody ever experienced divorce? Divorce, okay? We've experienced, there's people that it just didn't work because, we've had what? Bad relationships. Okay, so we've experienced that. Okay, let me see. Has anybody ever experienced struggles with drugs? Anybody online? Hey, some of us can have struggles with Advil. Me, because my leg hurts. We struggle with these things. What about alcohol? We drink a little bit too much. Sometimes, we get caught up in these things, in life, and it overtakes us, and we realize, I'm just drinking a little bit too much, and I got to get a control of that. But sometimes we have struggles, and we can't necessarily get the control, and we have some addiction problems. Has anybody, had that, or know somebody in their family? Just keep going around. Has anybody experienced that in their life or in their family? Addiction. Now, what about this one? Please do not raise your hand. Pornography. Don't raise your hand. just take it to the Lord in prayer. Okay? But we know, sometimes that has been an issue. That has been an issue in people. You can double it up, yeah. You know, that has been an issue in people's life. There might be someone online, yeah, you know what, hey, Pastor Jackie, y'all can't see me, but I struggle with that. What about finances and money? Okay, yes, we all have gotten to a point in our life where we have struggled with our finances and money. Some of us are there right now. Matter of fact, we probably have anxiety at the end of the month. Oh, Lord, how are we going to take care of that? You know, we struggle with that. What about gambling? Sometimes, gambling, you go to the races or you go to Foxwood, and you put one quarter in, and then, matter of fact, I was going to sponsor a trip. My home church is Union Baptist Church here in Stanford, and I was going to sponsor a trip for the seniors, and I was taking on to Foxwood, and I was saving up quarters and everything, and my pastor says, no, you're not. No, you're not. Okay? I said, but we'll bring back a tithe, Pastor. We'll bring back. He said, no, we're not going to do that. All right, what about, has anybody ever struggled with health? Anybody struggle with health? Some of us are struggling with health right now. We called out names for people that are dealing with health issues. My legs are bothering me. Okay, this is a big one. Has anybody ever struggled with weight? Trying to get the weight off. And we have these struggles in life. And then, has anybody ever struggled or made a mistake? You made a mistake that cost you a lot. Maybe even cost you to have to deal with the law and things like that. We've all, you see, had struggles. This table is not just any table, because this table is a table where we have God's gift of rest. This table is a table where we have God's gift of grace and forgiveness. This table is not just any table, because this is a table where we have God's gift of unconditional love. At this table, which is God's table, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome at this table. In your worship guide, there was another translation that I'm going to read now. It's the Message translation of Matthew, the 11th chapter, the 28th through the 30th verse, and it says, are you tired? Are you worn out? Burnt out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I like that. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you will learn to live freely and lightly. You see, religion will say you don't have a place at this table unless you fit a certain criteria. Let's watch this video.
No. Step aside, please. No way. Not you. I don't think so. No.
Religion will say you are not wanted at God's table unless you look like us, act like us, live like us, love like us, smell like us. Let's take a look at this video. It's coming. What we must understand is this: God is not religious. Say this with me this morning. God is not religious. Now turn to your neighbor and say, God is not religious. For John 4:24 says that they that worship me must come and worship me in spirit and in truth, because God is spirit, God is not religion. For religion is man-made. Religion is about rules and regulations. Religion sets a criteria concerning who is acceptable and who is not. But God says, come unto me, all. It didn't say some. It didn't say if you look like this, or you come from this neighborhood, or you talk like this, or you wear the certain clothes. It didn't say that. It said, come to me all. So as I close, I want to show it to you like this. God said, come on, Marie. Come on, Marie. There's a seat for you at the table. It says, come on, Ingrid. There's a seat for you at the table. It says, come on, there's a seat for you at the table. Come on, Kathy. There's a seat for you at the table. Come on, Eddie. There's a seat. Slide around here. There's a seat for you at the table. Victor, bring me one more chair. This is how God's table works, you see. Look, it works like this. It says, come unto me all. Leave it right there. Just leave it right there. Come unto me all. All who are weary, and I will give you rest. For there's a place for you at my table, says God. No matter what your struggle or challenge might be, God is saying this morning, come. For there is rest at this table. God knows that, the cares of life can burden you down. God knows that sometimes we are carrying such heavy loads in life. We feel like we have a yoke around our necks that's oppressing us and wearing us out. Has anybody ever gotten to a point in life that you're just plain worn out? You're just tired. You're not sure which way to go or what you're going to do. But know this, you can find rest at God's table. If you're online with us today, I want you to know that you can find rest at God's table. You can find rest because you're not alone. When you're at God's table, you're not alone, because this is what I want to show you. Stand up, Eddie. Stand up, Marie, if you can. Stand up, Ingrid. I'm going to move this out just around over here. Stand up, Ingrid. I'm going to show you like this. See, you're not alone at God's table, because when you get tired and when you get weary, you can lean. Now, we're going to lean the same way. Lean on each other. You see? You can lean on me. And Eddie said you can lean on me. You see? We're not alone at God's table, because we can lean on one another. And see, when we run out of places, when we run out of shoulders to lean on, come on, Kat, we just grab another shoulder. Come on, we just grab another shoulder, because we're never, ever, ever alone at God's table. We're never alone at God's table. Because God's table is also a community of faith. God's table is also a church. So when you get really weary, you can lean on your brother or sister at God's table. And know this, at this table, you will not only find rest, but you will find peace, and you will find joy, and you will find unconditional love. God is inviting each one of you to come and join the table, for there is, this is what I love about God's table, there's always another seat at the table. There's always another seat at God's table. No one is excluded from God's table. I know religion says you can't come and you can't come, but not at God's table. There's always another seat. Praise be to God, because there's always another seat. Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for this message on today. We thank you for the lesson that you have brought forth for your people. I pray, oh God, that this message will take root in the hearts of your people and bring forth spiritual growth. And God, if there's anyone here today sitting in the sanctuary or joining us online that didn't think they were welcome at your table, oh God, I pray that you would touch them right now and let them know there's a seat for them. God, if they have not made that next step, Lord, to invite you into their life, for you to take up residence and for you to become an active presence in their life, I pray, oh God, that you would stir their spirits right now and say, yes, I want to connect with God. Yes, I want a relationship with God, and I want it to start today. God, move by your Spirit in this place and online. And we'll be so careful to give your name the praise, the honor, and the glory. This we pray.